Hello again, everyone. Edwin Lerner back once again in this YouTube astrological segment. I'm going to be talking about Venus in conjunct Jupiter in a natal chart. Now, some of you may remember when I first started my YouTube astrology channel, I did a series on the aspects in a natal chart. They were a little bit concise. Some people may refer to them as snappy. So what I decided to do is make another series on them in which the videos would be a little bit longer and more descriptive. So anyway, first thing up is if you have Venus in conjunct Jupiter in a natal chart, well, there may be an adjustment, which is an inconjunct, may be needed between what you love and enjoy, which is Venus, and expanding horizons, which is Jupiter. Now, one or the other may be overemphasized. Now, it could be where you may be dominated in certain instances in doing what you love and enjoy to the expense of going outside the box, so to speak, and expanding horizons, which is Jupiter, or it could be the other way around. It could be where you're so busy trying to, do new things and expand your horizons, which is Jupiter, that you may deprive yourself of doing the things that you have, really truly loved and love and enjoy, which is Venus. So now let's say if, Venus is in Sagittarius as an example, those things that you really love and enjoy, may be tied in with adventure, sports, the outdoors, camping, publishing, advertising. It could be foreign travel. Venus is in Aquarius. Those things you really love and enjoy may be connected with humanitarianism, altruistic actions. It could be astrology, astronomy, computers, electronics, aviation, meteorology, innovation, as some examples. Now, another thing too is that you may either be, with this aspect, you may either be exceptionally enthusiastic, which is Jupiter, in making money, which is Venus, one moment, and then you may be apathetic, regarding those things the next. Now, if, let's say Venus is in Taurus as an example, you may make money, with a lot of persistence, patience, perseverance. It may be doing something Taurus related, which can include gardening, farming, cultivation, agriculture, architecture, banking, finance, doing something with art or music as some examples. And another thing about this aspect too is that you may extremely, value, which is Venus, higher education, which is Jupiter, one moment, and then the next moment, you may not at all. It might be where you're just, have so much value, and you might put a lot of emphasis on, your college studies, post-high school education at one point, and then the next moment you may be just oblivious to or just completely apathetic, regarding this. Now, let's say if if Jupiter is in Gemini as an example, higher education, may be connected with a lot of, taking a lot of, manifold variety of courses. It could be doing something and it's with communications, whether it's courses in writing, journalism, data, or satellite communications, or something that involves manual dexterity, such as auto or refrigeration mechanics. And the thing about this too is now also, there can be times when sports and college studies, which is Jupiter, may either, strongly benefit, your self-worth, your self-esteem, how you feel about yourself, which is Venus. Then at other times, it just may be no impact, whatsoever, on this. Now, the thing about, this is, let's say, if, Jupiter, say, is in Sagittarius, sports, they may be interested in things that involve, that target, so to speak, like darts or archery, as some examples. If you have, Jupiter and Gemini might have an interest in sports that involve, like the quick reaction sports, such as racquetball, table tennis, handball, badminton, things of those, something, like that. So But the thing about this is too, I mean, having Venus in conjunct Jupiter in a natal chart, the thing about this is you may be, really, it's at times really almost supremely exuberant and enthusiastic, which is Jupiter, for artistic endeavors, and art is Venus. Then other times you may be more stolid, just more nonchalant about it, very, there's like no emotion or anything. And, let's say, if Venus is in Pisces as an example, art interests may include, the abstract arts, or, something with, fictional fantasy kind of art. It might be art that's tied in with the sea, or boating, or fishing as some examples. Venus in Aquarius may be very ingenious, innovative art. It might be art tied in with science fiction, or computer, kind of art. Venus in Gemini maybe, might be interested in that animated cartoon kind of art, so to basically. So, and the thing is, like, inconjuncts are, can be very strong, vacillation and distortion of energy. And the thing is, the key is to find the balance and equilibrium between, the energies when you have inconjunct aspects in a natal chart. Now, another thing too is that there also may be like an imbalance between activities, that are connected, with your relationships, which is Venus, and that would include the significant, important friends, and also, in-laws, and those with in-laws and foreigners, which is Jupiter. It could be where you may be dominated by activities with one or the other. There may be times when you're doing, so many things with, the relationships, which is Venus, and to the expense of activities, that may be, connected with in-laws, and people, that are foreigners, that you have, things that you need to do with them. Or it could be the other way around, where you may be dominated by, matters with your in-laws, and even in foreigners, to the exclusion of, activities with your relationships, which include your important friends, which is Venus. Now, let's say if Venus is in Aries as an example, these relationships, including important friends, one or more may be an Aries sun, moon, or ascendant, or simply embody the characteristics of the sign. It could be, people that are very aggressive, assertive, forceful, courageous, combative. It could be people that aren't readily discouraged, but it may be those that are very impatient and impetuous, as well, as an example. Now, another thing too is that the relationships, which is Venus, maybe either you may feel that they're either, really extremely prosperous and lucky, which is Jupiter at times, then in other times, or you may feel that those, those people are just having, where these connections are just the opposite, where you have prolonged periods where there's nothing really positive that is coming out of these connections, and you may become very downtrodden, regarding them. And now let's say, going to, Venus in the zodiac sign Cancer as an example, one or more of these people, may actually have a Cancer sun, moon, or ascendant, or embody the traits of the sign. It could be, people that are very caring, nurturing, dedicated, devoted, sympathetic, protective, introverted, emotional, and sensitive. Now, another thing about these aspects too is that I would also say that, when you have Venus in conjunct Jupiter in the natal chart, is that Venus, anatomically is connected with the throat, the neck, the thyroid, the lower back, and the kidneys. And Jupiter can indicate extravagance. So if there's any issues that are connected, anatomically with Venus that you have, there may be times where you might feel like you're doling out, prodigious amount of money to take care of them, or you may simply exaggerate or distort those matters. And other times there just may be where you're able to go with maybe not hardly, spending anything on it, or you just become completely apathetic, about it, and you may downplay, those issues completely at times. So anyway, people, that'll conclude this YouTube astrological segment. Until next time, Edwin Leonard saying, stay well.